Hello, everybody. Welcome to Late Night Football. Welcome to our match reaction show. It's finished. Newcastle 1, Liverpool 2. Liverpool have committed daylight robbery, I mean, one could say. Smash and grab win, absolutely. I mean, it was a game that you couldn't take your eyes off. I need a bit of a breather as well after that game. But it was fantastic. It was fantastic to watch from start to finish. Both teams, I think both teams played their part in this, in the good ways and the bad ways, but they made this an entertaining spectacle. And if you didn't have a Manchester City, we'd be talking about all these other teams that are so good. And you know that. And I think not having Manchester City be so good, if you take them out of the equation, it really makes the Premier League very entertaining. Unfortunately, we've got a Bayern-sized team in Manchester City, but nonetheless, that being said, it was a phenomenal game. This was a phenomenal game, and you know, ultimately. Liverpool, what I will say is that Liverpool, of course, showed a lot of character, a lot of fight, because to be 1-0 down, to put in such a shoddy display in that first half, especially in that first 30 minutes, to go down to 10 men as well, and yet to keep fighting, to keep showing, you know, to keep being gritty, to not giving up, and to just, you know, hanging in there until the time came and they got that first goal and then they got that second goal to win it from that position, I think is commendable. I think it says a lot about Liverpool. It says a lot about the sort of team they are, and that's one of the reasons why I'd never count them out. I said it, they will finish top 4 because that's what Liverpool are. They, no matter how bad, you know, you think that they are playing, no matter how poor they might seem to you on paper or in the field, they managed to get the job done. That's what Liverpool are at the end of the day. They get it done. They somehow, some way, when they're on, you think you have them on the ropes, you think you have them dead to rights, they find a way to win. They just do. And that's what they did today as well. It's just brilliant. But I think what I will also say is that Newcastle have only themselves to blame for losing this game. I mean, I'm not a Newcastle fan, and I feel bad watching that game. So I'm not sure what Newcastle fans must be going through. You know, the reality is when they went 1-0 up and when they went up a man, when Liverpool went down to 10 men, I almost feel like Newcastle got a bit complacent. And they started playing, you know, toying with Newcastle, with Liverpool. We always say, don't play with your foot. And I think that is exactly what Newcastle did. They're playing with Liverpool. They thought Liverpool will just roll over. They had a bad 30-35 minutes, but you know, you never expect that from Liverpool, that they're just going to roll over. You still have got to go out there. They had to get that second goal as quickly as possible, kill the game off. They didn't do that. Just kept, you know, meandering around. And ultimately, the longer it stays 1-0, the nervousness creeps in. The mistakes start creeping in. You know, things start to happen, and that's what happened to Newcastle. They didn't kill off Liverpool, and they got burned in the end for it. So I mean, that's a lot to learn for Newcastle, and that's what they're going to have to learn very quickly. If they're going to be a top club again, and they want to be a top 4 team regularly, these are the sort of games that you need to win. These are the sort of advantages that you need to put to bed, and they didn't do that. And it's a harsh lesson, and football is a harsh game, but hopefully they will learn from it. But that is for another day. We'll talk about the game right now. And what I will say is that a lot happened, and a lot could have changed. Should Trent Alexander-Arnold have been sent off? Now, the first yellow card that he got was for petulance, to kick the ball away. 2 minutes later, he commits a foul on Anthony Gordon. And I think now, I mean, if Newcastle had won the game, probably people wouldn't have been talking about it so much, but it's going to rear its head again. Should Liverpool have been down to 9 men instead of 10? I mean, it's harsh asking Newcastle to win because, you know, you have the opposition go down to 9 men. I think they should have still won it. But should there have been a red card? I will say that if he hadn't been booked already, I think he would have got a yellow card for it. But that being said, when I looked at it back again, I thought, you know what? Maybe it's not a yellow card. Maybe it's not a second yellow. It's one of those decisions where whether you say yes or whether you say no, you're right and you're wrong, right? A referee, because no matter what, whatever decision the referee would have put out, one side would have been unhappy because it's a 50-50 decision. It's not a clear-cut decision. It's really based on the referee's interpretation. He's gone with the interpretation that Alexander-Arnold does not deserve a second yellow. I tended to agree with him after seeing the replay. So that's my opinion on that, but I'm sure there's going to be people who are going to say, no, that should have been a second yellow. There's going to be people who are going to say it's not a second yellow. So it's no matter which way you go, it's the right decision, it's the wrong decision, as I said. So it's one of those 50-50 borderline decisions you just got to accept. Virgil van Dijk, was that a red card? I think it was a red card. Now, the reason why it's a red card is quite obvious, because there's only 2 questions to answer, right? People talking about soft foul and, you know, is it, you know, it's not that rash. And no, there's only 2 things to question. Number 1, is he the last defender? Objectively, if you look at the replay, he is the last defender. Has he committed a foul? He has committed a foul. That's it. And then it's a red card. It doesn't matter what else, the intent, the intensity, all of that doesn't matter. All that matters is he the last man and has he committed a foul? If he has, if those 2 conditions are met, it has to be a red card. Nothing else matters. And Alexander Isak had, you know, pulled the ball past him. He had gone past him. He had skinned him. He was through on goal. And that's when Van Dijk decides, I'm going to pull him down. I'm going to skite him down. And he does that. Now, he didn't need to do that, but he did it. And when he does that, that's got to be a red card. There's no other debate about it. And people want to debate about it, they can. If people want to make up some conspiracy theories about Liverpool, they can. But the reality is that is a red card because those are the rules. You can talk about the rules, but the referees have to follow the rules, and that's what it is. But that being said, I mean, Alexander-Arnold did help them out anyway with the goal as well when Anthony Gordon. I mean, I've got to say Alexander-Arnold looked very bad in that first 35 minutes. He kind of felt that he had gone back into like a year ago, when he was this right back who didn't know that he was the right back. And it's a simple pass from Salah, and he should really be controlling it. But instead, he just lets it roll through. Probably, is already thinking about what he's going to do before he gets the ball. And it just goes through. Credit to Anthony Gordon. He was very alert and very alive, and he gets there quickly. It's a beautiful shot as well. It will be forgotten and all of that, but that's a very good finish to come up against Alisson that way, to put it through his legs. It's a very good finish. It's 1-0, and Newcastle were on top. They were on top because their midfield was winning that battle. I would, the first half, we saw the best of that Newcastle midfield because you've got three players who are very tenacious, who've got a lot of bite, who are very good defensively, who can make good passes as well going forward. And they just looked so good together. They just nullified that Liverpool midfield. They didn't give them a sniff, didn't give them a chance, and they kept at it. And that's why they were creating chances. And ultimately, they got that goal. They deserved that lead. It's just that I think complacency crept in that second half, and maybe a little bit of lack of that dynamism as well, because while they're good passers, they're not necessarily that dynamic. Sometimes in a tight game, you need a bit of dynamism to open up a team, and I don't think they had that, especially in that second half as Liverpool started to grow in confidence. They couldn't really do much, and that created issues. And at 1-0, Harvey Barnes had a chance to make it 2-0 when he was through on goal. It was a beautiful pass that picked him out. He should have picked out Callum Wilson, but he delayed it until he had to take a shot, and then Alisson kind of just saved it. And that should have been 2-0. That should have been game, set, match, but instead it wasn't. And soon after, Darwin Nunez scores his first goal. It's again comes off an error. All three goals were actually off of errors in some ways, so that's interesting. But that second goal was off an error. It hits the Newcastle defender in the back. It's a bit unfortunate, but it falls nicely for Darwin Nunez. He takes it well, scores 1-1. And we always say that in football, isn't it? That if you don't kill the team, you're always leaving them with a chance at 1-0. And that's what they did. They made it 1-1. And then I think Newcastle kind of panicked, because what happens is when you have a man advantage in a game, it's almost like the onus is on you to win the game, right? It's almost as the onus on. If you're trailing, then you want to draw the game. If you're losing, if you're winning, or if you're drawing, you want to win the game. That's the onus always falls on you. And I feel like that was what happened in Newcastle. They started panicking. Oh my God, we were 1-0 up. We've gone 1-0. We have a man advantage. We've got to win this game. Otherwise, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? And the passing got a bit desperate. The finishing got a bit desperate. And it just, slowly, it just looked like the calmness had gone. And the goal comes from that, because it's a very rash pass. Like it's just they lose the ball in midfield because the pass is just, it's a desperate long pass that he's trying to make. And he doesn't get it right at all. It hits Jota and falls kindly for Salah. The timing of that pass and the timing of that run is so good, because I thought Nunez was offside, but when you look at the replay, he's not even close to being offside. He's actually well onside. That is just beautiful. And he gets it nicely, and it's a good finish from him to make it 2-1. I do think Nunez needs to start games, and I think Klopp just needs to give him a run of games, 5-10 games. Just let him start, let him play whatever he does. Play 5-10 games and see how he does, and then you can decide to change it. Because in today's world, I think you need an out-and-out striker. Having an out-and-out number 9 is such an advantage. That Gakpo is good, but number 9s are now no longer that the way that Liverpool play. They don't need the number 9. They need a number 10 who's going to go and finish chances. That's what they need. And I think that you just got to stop experimenting. And Nunez hasn't had a good time of it, to be fair. The same with Jota, I would say as well. He's not an out-and-out striker as well. You just start Nunez. He hasn't had a good time of it, but hopefully these 2 goals will give him the confidence that he needs, will give him the fillip that he needs to now go and become the player that Liverpool thought that they were getting. But, can't do much better than being down to 10 men and being the guy who's got you back and dragged you back and won you the game. That will give him a lot of confidence. But, 2-1. Newcastle, they were as good as they were in the first half. I think they lacked a bit in that second half, and that I think shows if Liverpool want to be a top club, these are the sort of games that they need to win. These are the sort of games they need to stamp their mark on. And I think what might have also happened is that when Van Dijk got sent off, Liverpool were all at sea. I think Newcastle kind of went, right, maybe we can embarrass Liverpool. We can embarrass them. We can make them, suffer. And I think at times with that comes complacency. With that comes this feeling of wanting to be the hero, wanting glory. And at times they probably felt that way. And you start to think that the game is already won when it's not won. And this is all mentality things, right? These are all mental things, and you need to work on that. As good as Liverpool were mentally, I think Newcastle were also very bad mentally in terms of how they approach the game, especially after the red card. And that will need to change. It's a harsh lesson, as I said, and they'll need to learn it. And hopefully they have learned something from it. But yeah, I mean, credit to Liverpool though. I mean, you got to credit that. Whatever Newcastle might have done, the fact is that Liverpool did very, very well to keep it to 1-0. For as long as they did, without wilting, without letting pressure get to their head. It was so easy. Liverpool, honestly, could have been so different. I mean, I know if it was Manchester United, they would have probably ended up losing 5-0, 6-0 this game. But Liverpool did very well to keep it to 1-0. And the longer they kept it to 1-0, their confidence kept growing, and they got that goal, and then they went on to win it. So well done to Liverpool. Man of the match has got to be Darwin Nunez. I mean, it doesn't matter who else. It's got to be Darwin Nunez. 2 goals. You just got to give it to him. He was excellent, impact player, brilliantly well done. And congratulations to Liverpool. Congratulations to all the Liverpool fans, of course. Share your thoughts on the game. What did you think about the performance? What do you think about about Newcastle? I mean, like I said, Newcastle fans must be gutted right now, but share your thoughts, of course. Do smash a like on this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Always appreciate your support. We'll see you again very, very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.